My pranams to all Atmajyotis. Since today the discussion started with Sadguru, let me take one shloka. I'll chant, you can repeat after me. Dhyana Moolam
ध्यानमूलं
Guror Murti
गुरुर्मूर्तिः
Puja Moolam
पूजामूलं
Guror Padam
गुरुर्पदं
Mantra Moolam
मंत्रमूलं
Guror Vakyam
गुरोर्वाक्यं
Moksha Moolam Guru Krapa. So what this says is Dhyana Moolam Guror Murti. Means what? The meditation means the form of Guru is you have to meditate. What do you mean by that? We do meditation, right? What is meditation? Meditation means mind going into something constantly. So meditation is not very special for us. Meditation is easy for us. People are experts in meditating. They'll constantly think of money. They'll constantly think of girl or boy or wife or a family or a friend or a relative. Constantly we are good in meditation. Meditation is natural for human beings. Actually, I am finding it difficult to meditate is false. Back in olden days, there was a person. He had married, newly married. He was in so much of love with that lady. That lady had gone to her parents' place. He is not able to withstand. He is not able to. The separation from the wife, he is not able to tolerate. He goes to his place, goes to her place. While going, there is a flood in the river. He catches hold of a log of wood, swims across, and then reaches the other shore. Then his wife is in the first floor. He climbs using a creeper and calls his wife. He is so eager to meet his wife. My wife comes out and sees she's shocked. He has crossed the river holding on to a dead wood, a wooden piece. In fact, it's a dead body floating in the river. And he is climbing the building thinking that he is holding on to a creeper. He is holding on to a snake. He is unaware. He is so eager to meet his wife. The wife says, if you had so much of concentration on God, you would have realized God. Hearing his wife's word, the person gets shocked. He is transformed at that moment. And he becomes the Tulsidas, where he sees Rama every time, everywhere. Just one word of the wife transforms his life. So, Tulsidas had very good concentration. He was doing dhyana all the time, his wife's dhyana. In that dhyana, he doesn't even know the dead body also. He doesn't even know the snake. And if he had shown a small percentage of that for God, he would have realized God. This is what his wife says. And his wife changes his life. The same amount of energy which he had put on the wife, he starts putting on God, and he realizes. So does it mean that Tulsidas didn't have the ability to meditate? He had the ability to meditate. Everybody has the ability to meditate. But they meditate on different things. What you meditate, when you meditate something other than God, you'll end up in misery, suffering. You have tremendous ability to meditate, but you are focusing on wrong things in life. So people say meditation is very difficult for me. They are lying actually. They are pure liars. People meditate days and hours together on some nonsense. People meditate on money. People meditate on time, position, power, girl, friend, relative. But meditate on God becomes very difficult for them. We say meditation is very difficult. The moment I close my eyes, thoughts will come. Thoughts will come because you are meditating wrong things in life. Your meditation, real meditation starts when Dhyana Moolam Gurur Murti. Whenever your mind goes towards Guru, then your meditation is really started. The form of the Guru. Because form of the Guru is the beginning of your spiritual journey. Dhyana Moolam Gurur Murti. But form of the Guru is not the end of the journey. Form of the Guru will take you formless aspect of Guru, which is awareness, the self. Real Guru is formless. So your meditation starts when Dhyana Moolam Gurur Murti. Guru's thought comes in your mind first. Does it come in your mind first? What comes in your mind first? That shows the importance you give to Guru in your life. If you say you are suffering in your life, does the thought of Guru comes in your life, in the mind in your life, or suffering comes? So where is the position for Guru in your life? If you are really given importance to Guru, before any thought comes, Guru's thought comes. Then no other thought is there's a place, because mind can have only one thought at a time. So you may say, I have a lot of respect for Guru, I worship Guru. But do you? What you worship, you meditate. And what meditation you do creates the disturbance in your mind. So really, if you want to get rid of disturbance, the Guru should be the first thought in your mind. The meditation of Guru is the real meditation. Dhyana Moolam Gurur Murti. I'm not saying you have to worship the body of the Guru. Anything when the mind goes somewhere, thoughts of Guru will come in your mind and brings you back to the direction. That's the Guru in your life. If you are really brought Guru in your life, immediately the correction happens in the thought. Otherwise, thoughts will run away. Thoughts of wisdom will appear in your mind. That's Guru coming in your mind. That's meditation on Guru. If you keep on suffering and say, I offer all my suffering to Guru, that means Guru is not your first thought. Guru is your last thought. So meditation means first thought in our mind. Meditation is a thought which grips our mind. When the thought of Guru comes, all other thoughts will disappear. Then Dhyana Moolam Guru Murti happens. But Guru is initially may start with a form, but gradually the form disappears. You merge with the form, it becomes formless. So beginning of the Guru Dhyana is Guru's form. This is what Shiva says. Otherwise, we meditate on so many things in life. The boy meditates on the girl. Kuntre Nintre Avade Dhyana. Okay, girl meditates on the boy. Kuntre Nintre Avade Dhyana. Manasi Gilvi Samadhana. Next word itself says what is the problem. The mind will not be disturbed. If you are really meditating in Guru, mind will become calm down immediately. Meditating on Guru, of Guru's form comes first. Guru's form will display everything. That's the nature of our mind. What is most important for us always comes first. So you have to ask yourself question, does Guru's thought comes in your mind first, or Guru's thought comes as an afterthought? So if Guru's thought comes before any thought, then there is no place for other thoughts. That is the meditation. Gradually that form dissolves, and that's in formless aspect of Guru emerges in you. The Guru and Shishya, they are not different. There's one reality called Atma. Dhyana Moolam Gurur Murti. The form of Guru is. The form of the Guru is really formless, but to start with, you start with a form. Puja Moolam Gurur Padam. We have heard we have to worship the Guru's feet. We know very well, catch hold of Guru's feet to do Pada Puja. Okay. The real puja is the Guru's feet. What is Guru's feet? Guru's feet, Guru feet means somebody what he stands on. We have heard the English quotation. He stands, he has a firm standing. That means he stands firmly, is it? There's a stand means inner stand. So the stand, feet is represents the inner stand. What is the inner stand of the Guru? Jnana and Bhakti. Wisdom and devotion is where Guru stands. And we do Guru Paduka Puja. What is Guru Paduka? Is wooden sandal we do puja? Guru Paduka is what protected the feet of the Guru. Guru's feet was protected by Viveka and Vairagya, discrimination, dispassion. Guru has a sharp discrimination. And that protected the feet of the Guru. So why do we do Guru Paduka Puja? Because using the footwear of discrimination and dispassion, Viveka and Vairagya, Guru has disappeared. The form has become formless. Only footwear remains, Viveka and Vairagya. That footwear is given to you in the form of teaching, Atma Vichara, Atma Darshana. How the Guru disappeared, Guru must be the infinite. That teaching is given. The teaching is the Viveka and Vairagya. So catching hold of Paduka means catching hold of the teaching of the Guru. Catching hold of the teaching of Guru means bringing the Guru in your life. Any wrong thought goes, Viveka and Vairagya should trigger. Then your Guru is in your life. Or otherwise it's just words. I worship Guru, I trust Guru. They're all mere words. A real Guru, if you are real Guru in your mind, then any thought comes, first immediate teaching of the Guru comes in your mind and thought gets destroyed. Does it happen in your life? Then Guru is in your life. Otherwise, you just say Guru is a mere words. Puja Moolam Gurur Padam. Feet of the Guru. Guru himself is formless. How can you catch hold of feet of Guru? We do Pada Puja. Of course, you should respect to show the master who is teaching it. But real Pada of the Guru is Jnana and Bhakti. And what protected Jnana and Bhakti is nothing but Paduka, Viveka and Vairagya. And Viveka and Vairagya you can see. How you can see? In the form of teaching. Has the teaching gone deep inside you? Then any thought, any disturbing thought comes, first thought, teaching will come. Then the disturbing thoughts get destroyed. Is there Guru in your life? Really? Oh, I am meditating, too many thoughts are coming. How can thought come when Guru is in your life? Please tell me. How can thought come in your meditation when the Guru is in your life? Guru's teaching is in your life. The moment Guru's teaching comes in the form of Viveka and Vairagya, the thoughts get destroyed. That cannot be a place for thoughts. So, if thoughts are coming in your mind, that means still there is no place for Guru in your life. I am not able to meditate means you are meditating on something else. Are you meditating on Guru? Are you meditating on Guru's teachings? Here there is no person is identified as Guru, okay? It's not Guru form means doesn't mean the person of the Guru. It's a formless aspect. When the Guru Paduka means teaching. Worship Guru Paduka. Worship the feet of the master. Then you'll be free. Puja Moolam Gurur Padam. Mantra Moolam Gurur Vakyam. So mantra, Mananatrayati mantra. What comes in your mind repeatedly is called mantra. Tell me what nonsense comes in your mind repeatedly. So that nonsense causes disturbance in your life. When it's Guru's words come in your mind, that's mantra. So we say Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. These are mantra. They are mantra traditionally, but really the Guru's teaching will go deep inside mind. Any thought comes, the teaching comes up. That is mantra. Manana Trayati, that teaching of Guru protects you. That is the protection of the Guru. So you think Guru comes in physically teaches protects you? Guru's teaching protects you. For example, doctor tells a diabetic patient, don't eat sugar. So he goes and eats sugar, then doctor's words comes in picture. Oh, sugar I should not eat. Then he drops sugar. The doctor protects the patient by giving the teaching. The Guru protects you by giving the teaching. Is teaching coming in your mind? That is called Mantra Moolam, Gurur Vakyam. Words of the Guru is the protection. There is no greater protection than the words of the Guru. That is mantra. So now you actually, I'm chanting mantra, japa, japa, japa. They're all traditional mantras. Real mantra is Guru's teaching. Real mantra is Nanu, Nanembudu, Nanalla, Ideha, Manabuddhi, Nanalla, Sachidanandatma, Shivananunani, Shivoham, Shivoham, Shivoham. I'm not the body, I'm not the mind, I'm not the intellect, I'm pure consciousness, Shiva Swarupi. There's no mantra greater than this. This is the highest mantra. So does this come in your mind? Or something else comes in your mind? Mantra Moolam Guru Vakyam. Moksha Moolam Guru Kripa. The liberation or moksha happens due to the Guru's grace. What is Guru's grace? Guru comes in your life only when Ishvara's grace is there. Bhagavan's grace is there. Guru comes in your life. Guru cannot come in your life just like that. It is very, very rarest of rare opportunity to get a realized master in your life. It's one in a million lifetime opportunities. You think it comes easily? After doing lot of good karma in some lifetime or other, you will get that opportunity. Moksha Moolam Guru Kripa, grace of God, Ishvara. Ishvara is pleased with you. That's why he sends Guru in your life. You should show respect to the Ishvara's grace. The Guru has come in my life. What do? You constantly worry about things which are useless, worthless. You disrespect the grace of Ishvara. Ishvara shows a tremendous grace in the form of sending a realized master in your life. Ishvara's grace is Guru. And Guru's grace is teaching. How Guru's grace is teaching? The highest and highest spiritual teaching, the Guru translates and makes it able to understand to your mind. He comes to the level of you. He is like a mother. The mother, when teaches a child, she comes to the level of the child to teach. That's how the child grows. Guru comes to this level of you to teach. That is the grace of the Guru. Respecting the grace of the Guru, respecting grace of Ishvara, being thankful in life. Yes, real gratefulness. And when you are grateful, the grace flows more. When you start suspecting grace, when you start questioning grace, the grace starts going back. Then you will not get back in many lifetimes. Moksha Moolam Guru Kripa means the grace of the Guru is the teaching. The most complicated truths, he can make it so simple for you. The mother gives the food to the child. When she gives the food to the child, she grinds it so that child can digest. If food is given just like that, child cannot digest. The food is given to the child in the way child can digest. The Guru brings the highest and highest of spiritual teachings in the way you can digest. That is the grace of the Guru. Now when the food is kept in your mouth, all that you have to do is swallow it. Are you doing that? Or are you spitting the food? Moksha moolam guru krapa. That leads to moksha. When the teaching is digested, eaten, Guru can keep in your mouth, but ultimately you have to swallow it. He cannot force you through your throat. The spiritual teaching, you have to understand the limitation of Guru. Okay? The spiritual teaching, spiritual truth is the innermost reality. It's a subjective reality. Okay? When you pinch, there's a pain. No, you cannot show the pain to anybody because pain is your inner reality. Spiritual realization is innermost reality. The Guru cannot show to anybody. But Guru shows the way, how to read that. That is the grace of the Guru. He can show the path. Oh, this is how I got. So pinching, there's a pain. You cannot know that pain is there. But oh, by pinching, I get the pain. So path can be shown. Similarly, spiritual truth, the path can be shown. The Atma Vichara path can be shown. But ultimately, you have to go in the path. The Guru cannot force you. No Guru forces you in the path. He can say, this I experienced. This is the path I went. Now, if you feel like going in that path, you go. That is Guru's grace. Dhyana moolam guror murtihi puja moolam guror padam mantra moolam guror vakyam moksha moolam guru krapa. This is the teaching of Bhagavan Shiva, Adi Guru Shiva. Any questions? Because today people started with something on Sadguru teaching, Sadguru. That's why I had to give this.